Hey guys, what's up? This is going to be another version of Kagero where you mix the legend with other stuff. This is the build that I did the most playtesting with tonight when I went and hung out with my friends. This version is was definitely more. It's I don't want to say it's better than the Legend Blade Master deck I showed you. It's just different. It combines the new support with the cross, and the cross being probably up until the legend probably being my favorite of all the overlords. It was just obvious that I would eventually be bringing you this deck profile. So anyway, guys, let's just jump straight into it. Hope you can appreciate my special sleeves too. These were some that my that our locals owner got, and so $100 bill sleeves, fun. So for the starting Vanguard, I am obviously using Lizard Hero Undo because he's amazing, especially in a deck where we're playing all Overlord units. So search out an counterblast 1, Moon to the Soul, search an Overlord, Generation Break 1. So doesn't really take a lot of thought process there. And he's now a solid 5k boost, like I mentioned earlier. So such a good card. This is the starter that for the longest time after we lost Conroe all those years ago, we've been looking for a starter to replace Conroe, and this definitely is good. We're playing 4 Buster Rain Dragon for our crits, and we're playing 4 Magnum Shot Draco Kid for our critical triggers. We are playing 4 copies of Gatling Claw Dragon for our draw triggers because it kills off starters and kills off pesky starters that you just don't want your opponent to have. Your Chronodrans, your Judge Bows, your Meliuses, your Nova Grappler one that restands, whatever the hell his name is. And then we play 4 Mother Orb Dragon. I know not a lot of you are going to care about this, but what annoys me so much about the Legend deck is the triggers they gave us were not good at all. None of them are Flame Dragons, and every card in the deck except my 16 triggers are hollow in some way. I wanted a full hollow deck, and it just didn't happen. I know. I'm asking for too much, aren't I? But the reason you want to play Flame Dragon Heals is so with a Legend you can add them to your hand. So that's why. So the weirdest part for the critical triggers is it's weird not having Embodiment of Spear Tar. That really feels weird. So 8 crit, 4 draw, 4 heal. Grade 1s. 4 Protect Orbs for our Kagero G Perfects, because we want our we want to unflip our damage. In any Kagero deck, we counterblast quite frequently, so we want to be able to reuse those. If you have Protect Orb Dragons and you have no use for them, I'm willing to trade for them. I have 2 play sets, but I'm always willing to pick up more of these because I build a crap ton of Kagero decks, and it gets annoying having to switch them back between decks. For the next grade 1, probably my favorite Kagero grade 1 now, and that's Lizard General Conroe. Lizard General Conroe. Some of this is going to sound like a broken record, guys, if you've seen my Legend Blade Master one, because obviously there's a lot of card choices that are in both decks, just because of how good they are. So his ability is, when this unit is placed on the rear guard from your hand, you may reveal a grade 3 from your hand. If you do, search your deck for up to 1 grade 3 card with Overlord in its card name, reveal it to your opponent, put it into your hand, shuffle your deck, choose a card from your hand, and discard it. So it is your Overlord searcher, so it will search out any grade 3 in this deck, because I play all Overlords in this deck. And then his other skill is really, really awesome. It's an act ability. You retire him and select one of your Vanguards with Overlord in its card name. And for the rest of the turn, anytime your Vanguard attacks, you get to countercharge 2, unflip 2 damage. And there are ways that we can get 2 attacks with our Vanguard, so we can essentially unflip 4 damage or countercharge 4, and that is really, really good. Then we are playing 3 copies of Lava Flow Dragon. And signed ones, too. So Lava Flow Dragon, he is our Kagero Stride Enabler. When he's pitched from the hand, he counts as a grade 3. I do not play Blade Master in this variant, so his first skill is irrelevant in this deck, but he is here just because when he's pitched, he counts as a grade 3. Then for the last grade 1 that I've been testing for a while, I'm still not really sold on this card, but I will admit he is good. And that is 2 copies of Spear of the Flame Dragon Tar. I mean, in playtesting, he's been really, really good. And, you know, I'm going to continue playtesting to see if I would like him in this variant. But he is good, especially in a deck with all Overlords that needs Overlords to pay for costs. So he is good for that, I guess. It's a matter of player preference. So his ability is once per turn, Generation Break 1, Counterblast 1 and Soul Blast 1. Choose up to one of your other units, and until the end of the turn, it gets plus 4,000 power and the skill of. When this unit attacks a Vanguard, look at the top 5 cards from the top of your deck, search for one grade 3 or greater Flame Dragon from among them, reveal it to your opponent, put it into your hand, shuffle your deck. So it can search out Overlords, or any Flame Dragon for that matter, but the reason that you're going to be playing him mostly is to search out Overlords. So, good at that. For grade 2s, we are playing 4 copies of Emperor Dragon Knight Nahalem. So, like I said in my previous one, Nahalem is one of my favorite Kagero units, and I'm so glad he's back, and he has a kick-ass effect, so we can use him. So his ability is Generation Break 1. During your turn, if you have a Vanguard with Overlord in its card name, this unit gets plus 2,000 power. And also, when your grade 4 or greater Vanguard attacks, this unit gets plus 5,000 power. So if on a turn that you stride and you attack with your Vanguard, he instantly becomes 16. And then if your Vanguard somehow gets a second attack, he becomes 21. So you can get this guy really, really, really big. So definitely for Nahalem, he replaces Burning Horn. It's kind of sad to see Burning Horn go after so many years of using him, but Nahalem is back, and he is so much better. But if you still want to play Burning Horn in this deck, it's necessarily not a bad option to have. I just wanted other options to have. So next grade 2 is we're playing 3 copies of Perdition Dragon Dragonic Neoflame. This is still one of the best cards in Kagero in general. And I got 3 gorgeous Legion Rares to show off to. I'm looking for one more Legion Rare set of Neoflame in the Great, so if you do happen to have one, you're willing to let it go, let me know. So Neoflame skill is when this unit is placed on the rear guard until the end of turn, this unit gains the skill of when your opponent's rear guard in the same column as this unit is put into the drop zone. You may counterblast 1. If you do, choose one of your opponent's rear guards in the same column and retire it. So he wipes out entire columns, and there are ways to kick his skill off real easily with other units. So he is just so good. He should be in any Kagero deck, in my opinion. At least a 2 of. Next, we are playing 2 copies of Dragonic Burnout. And I finally have... If in my original build I was playing four double rares because I didn't have 4 SPs, but in this one I'm using my 2 SP copies. I blinged this version out as much as I possibly could. So Dragonic Burnout, he has for the longest time been such an amazing card for Kagero, but now we have other options to use, and this deck Soul Blasts with the Legend and Tar, so I decided to cut him down to 2. He's still good because there are so many ways you can kick him off now. With having Conroe, you can pretty much guarantee yourself a burnout on turn 2 on your second turn. So that's good. So Dragonic Burnout skill is when this unit is placed on the rear guard, if you have a Kagero Vanguard, you may choose a card with Overlord in its card name from your drop zone and put it on the bottom of your deck. If you do put a card on the bottom of your deck in this way, you may Soul Blast 1. If you do, choose one of your opponent's rear guards and retire it. So it lets you kill a unit, so that's good. And for the last grade 2, a card I decided to play test, and in testing I actually really like it. And that is 2 copies of Armor of the Flame Dragon Bar. Armor of the Flame Dragon Bar, probably one of those cards that some people might be looking at their computer screen going, wait, what? I will admit, I didn't think I would like this card, but I decided, what the hell, I'll give it a shot. You know, because like I always tell you guys, sometimes the craziest ideas are the ones that are the best. So his ability, in case you didn't know, is Generation Break 1. When this unit intercepts, you can return a Grade 3 or greater Flame Dragon from your drop zone and put it on the bottom of your deck. If you do, this unit gets plus 10,000 power and shield until the end of turn. So he can intercept for 15,000 power and recycle your Overlords for you. So in a way, he's doing exactly what Burnout does. He just gives you another defensive option. And it's a card that your opponent is going to want to target, so it might draw away some of the heat on your Vanguard. In testing, he's doing very, very well. In fact, in testing today, there was a couple of games he saved my ass. So he is really, really good. If you are a Kagero player and you have not tested the new bar yet, I strongly encourage you to. And I will admit, his artwork is absolutely beautiful. So definitely try him out. Grade 3s. 4 copies of Dragonic Overlord Zakros. And Dragonic Overlord the Cross, just absolutely amazing card. Still very, very good in my opinion. His ability, Legion, obviously, with Overlord, the end. When this unit legions, search your deck for up to 1 card with the same name as a unit on your Vanguard circle, reveal it to your opponent, put it into your hand, shuffle your deck. So you're gonna search your deck for a cross or the end. So that's really, really good. And we are still playing our 3 copies of Dragonic Overlord the End. So Dragonic Overlord the End, when he is on your Vanguard circle and the attack successfully hits your opponent's Vanguard, Counterblast 2, discard a copy of the End, and restand your Vanguard. So if you're in Legion and you attack and hit, your Vanguard restands, and you get more drive checks, more attacks at your opponent, and you get to make them hurt more. So, yay! His other 2 skills you really won't worry about. It's his restanding skill. I mean, the Lord skill you don't have to worry about anymore. And then you won't have to worry about having a regular Dragonic Overlord in the soul. For the last grade 3 is obviously we're playing our new Overlord. 2 copies of Dragonic Overlord, the Legend. I was able to get 2 of the hot stamped ones from my 4 Legend decks that I got. I'm really happy about that. I am looking for 2 more of the hot stamps if you have them. So the Legend skill, Vanguard ability once per turn, Generation Break 2. Counterblast 1, choose a grade 3 or greater Flame Dragon from your hand and discard it. Until the end of the turn, this unit gets plus 15,000 power, plus 1 to the grade, plus 1 to the drive, and at the end of the battle that this unit attacked a rear guard, you may discard 3 cards from your hand. If you do, restand this unit. So he gets you another attack, which is really awesome. And if you somehow can't stride, he bails you out. So there's that. So some of you, I mean, there's a lot of ways that I thought about this. I actually thought about dropping 1 copy of the Cross and playing 3/3/3. But in all honesty, since you play 4 Conroe, you can search out any of them that you want. The Legend is good because if you don't want to Legion right away, you can ride the Legend and fill your drop zone up and get some strides in, get some damage in, and then go into the cross. So this is actually a really good, solid lineup because you're still going to have your crosses and your ends for your Legion skills, and then you have the Legend to use until you're either A, ready to Legion, or if because you don't necessarily mind riding the cross first, you really don't mind riding the Legend first, but you absolutely do not want to ride the end first. So if you happen to get the end in your opening hand and you have a Conroe, you can ditch the Conroe and search out the Legend, or the cross, whichever one you want. So you have a better ride target. So that's there. So, but in testing guides, this lineup 4 cross, 3 end, and 2 Legend did absolutely beautifully. So I am very pleased with this so far. Definitely a lot of fun to play. For the G deck, like my Blademaster Legend variant, this is a full 16-card G zone. Like I mentioned in that one, over the next 2 weeks, I'll be finishing up school this quarter with projects. Finishing up projects, homework, school, finals, and all this and that. I just don't know if I'm going to have time to film or if I'm going to have the energy. So that's why I'm going ahead and showing you what will be in here, or what I would put in here for this build. 1 copy of Mustafa, and then just like my Blademaster version, I'm playing also 1 Vortex Desire. That way, no matter, you can go into either one of them, and this gets you a guaranteed retire. This gets you 2 retires, but has to hit, and whichever one you go into, you flip the other one face up. So it's just a good, solid option to have, in my opinion. So there's that. Next, we are playing 4 copies of Supreme Heavenly Emperor Dragon, Dragonic Overlord, Z-Ace. And these are the generation rares. These aren't the common ones out of the Legend deck. But if you do get those, they still do the same thing. But I'm glad I have my generation rares because I am a rarity sucker. So his ability is Act ability, Counterblast 2, choose a face-down card named Supreme Heavenly Emperor Dragon Dragonic Overlord the Ace. God, that's a long-ass name. From your G-Zone and turn it face-up. If the number of face-up cards in your G-Zone is 2 or more, until the end of the turn, this unit gets -1 drive check. And then at the end of the battle that this unit attacked a Vanguard, you may pay the cost of discarding 1 card from your hand and then another card from your hand as long as it has Overlord in its card name. So, again, you'll be discarding 2 cards from your hand, 1 that has Overlord in its name, 1 that doesn't, or the other card can be anything else, actually. If you do, stand this unit and it gets plus 5,000 in power until the end of turn. So it gets you another restand. So it gets you more power. So that's nice. More power's nice. Yay! We're still playing our 4 copies of Transcendence Divine Dragon, Novelle, Vague Express. Still hate the name. The Vague Stride is absolutely amazing. His ability is Act, Generation Break 2, Counterblast 1, choose a face-down card called Transcendence Divine Dragon Novelle Vague Express, and from your G-Zone and turn it face up. Until the end of the turn, this unit gets, during a battle that this unit attacked a Vanguard, your opponent cannot call grade 1 units from their hand to the Guardian Circle, and the continuous effect of, during your turn, if the number of cards in your opponent's G-Zone is 5 or more, all of your opponent's trigger effects are nullified, so they can't death heal on the final damage against this card, so that's really, really good. Next, we're playing 2 copies of Flame Emperor Dragon King Root Flare Dragon, just to have a little more retiring power. You'll notice this build is different from the Blademaster Legend build, because in that version I don't play all Overlords, so I don't play 4 Ace. In this version I do. Then in for the rest, the last 4 cards is the exact same as my Legend Blade Master. I'm playing the 1 Proxy Seabreeze right now that lets you stride if your opponent is trying to either A, grade stick you on purpose, or they just can't ride to grade 3. 1 of the Resist G Guardian, and then 2 of the regular Kagero G Guardians that when it's used, if your opponent has 4 rear guards or less, it guards for 20. So that is that. So that is my updated Overlord cross deck with the Legend in it. And this deck is a lot of fun to play. It's been real fun to mess with. I really enjoyed this build. I put it together a couple days ago and was really ready to test it out. And tonight it did absolutely wonderful. It's just nice when builds that you come up with actually work. So this build, by far, in my opinion, so far out of all the builds I've come up with, is the best. I didn't address this in the Blade Master Legend deck profile, like I thought, like I tried to remember to and forgot. Some people are asking me what I think about taking this and pairing it with Dauntless. Personally, I don't like it because even if you break ride this on Dauntless, he's going to be 21. He's going to gain the break ride skill, and then if you use his skill, he's going to gain 15,000 power, so he's going to be at 36,000 power. But if you attack the Vanguard first, which is what you have to do because keep in mind, Dauntless's ability, if he restood at any point in time, you can't use it, so you're going to have to go Vanguard first for Dauntless's skill, and then you're going to have to attack a rear guard for the Legend skill, and then you attack the Vanguard again. So yeah, technically you're getting 9 drive checks out of that, but if your opponent is smart, if you attack their Vanguard after you break right on Dauntless and pay that skill, if they have any front row rear guards, they're just going to intercept them into the Guardian Circle and let them die, so you can't restand and do that again. So you're essentially losing stuff. I don't like that. There are some people who do, and if you want to see a Dauntless Legend deck, I normally don't do this, but you're gonna have to go. You're gonna have to come up with that yourself, because I don't mean to be rude. I just don't like that build at all. It's not consistent. It's not a consistent, guaranteed threat. Now, if your opponent, if you catch an opponent who is young and does not know about that skill of Dauntless, because a lot of people overlook that clause in his effect that will cancel it, then yes, it's good. But if you're playing against an experienced player, and that's how I build all my decks, I build decks that are meant to be treated as competition decks, because that's how I think you should build your decks to win tournaments consistently and can play against players who know their stuff. Now, that's not always the case, but that's the smarter move than the alternative. And because of that reason alone, I just don't like pairing Dauntless with the Legend. I just don't. Nothing against you if you do like it. It's just not consistent. And again, on the consistency talk here, I have talked about consistency and its importance on the channel thousands of times, and I just do not see that as a consistent threat. So that's why I will not be showing you that version. I'm not even putting it together myself. I'm not even going to play test it, just because I don't like it that much. So if it works for you, great. I hope if that's the build you do play that it does work for you. I don't wish ill on you. I just don't. It's just not for me. Like I've always told you guys, it's player preference. You're welcome to take any of the builds that I build for you and build them and try them out for yourself. I don't consider that, a black mark. There's so many people who consider taking someone else's build and trying it as their own. Like they act like it's a like it's a federal offense. Me personally, I don't care. You are welcome to take my builds and also tutor them to your own style. I mean, now keep in mind the decks I show you, they're tutored to my style, but they're also tutored in my opinion of what's best. Keep in mind I said in my opinion what's best. I'm not saying my build is the best. It's the best build for me. So just keep that in mind. Don't think when I'm showing you a build that I say this is the best option. Don't take that as I'm telling you your opinion, if it's different, is wrong. I'm just saying that this option is best for me. Because the deck builder, if you're building your own decks, you build them to fit your playstyle the best because you know how you play better than anybody. So just keep that in mind. If you ever have any questions, I'm always happy to answer them. You just need to put them in the comment section, and I'll be happy to answer them. So anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed my cross legend deck. I really, really, really enjoy this build. It is so fun to play, so consistent. The build is now more consistent than ever. I just love it to pieces. So in the comment section below, please leave me your thoughts and what you think. If you want, give me other ideas that you want to see the legend pair with. If you have any other ideas, I'm happy to listen to them. So anyway, guys, thank you very much for watching. Make sure you leave a like, comment, subscribe to the channel if you already haven't done that. Make sure you leave some comments down below for me to read and all your questions, and I will see you next time.